HDZero and DJI, man, MadsTech is all over the news today.
Yes, he is.
What did he do this time, Blunty?
All right, so HDZero and DJI have been tested by MadsTech on his bench, so he could see on his nice analyzer, so he could give you the real information. So we've talked for a while about the possibilities of the system where, hey, when you power up, it blasts on this channel, or it's going to be X power, or it's too wide and it's stomping all over the people you fly with, and XYZ, right? We've heard all those things, and then a lot of us have flown and seen some of those are true and some of those are not. So MadsTech decided to put it on the bench and let's actually see what's happening with these channels or with the power up and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to review some of the takeaways here that we've got from the system. And by the way, this is a great video. If you're actually interested in the RF and seeing what's happening, you should definitely watch this video and check out MadsTech channel for.
There's a lot of stuff here. It's like it's good stuff. Where should I start, Blunty? Give me a timestamp.
Well, so near the beginning, you can just kind of go through there. I basically we can kind of look at what he's doing, but I just want to review basically some of the takeaways. And then we can look at maybe a couple specific things.
Okay.
So the first takeaway to remember here is that they actually have the same size bandwidth. So a lot of people say on 25 megabit. So a lot of people say DJI is stomping all over the other channels, right? So when you compare HDZero to DJI, and you actually
this is HDZero on the right, this is DJI on the left.
DJI on the left, and so those four little peaks above there are the goggles talking back, so for some context there. And those always stay the same power, regardless of the power that you have the unit on.
Interesting.
They just scale probably based on LQ or something. Not been totally determined yet, but essentially. If you scroll a little farther forward, you should see 1 watt mode on each, and you'll kind of see both parts kind of swell. So there's HDZero on 1 watt, and you can see both. Basically the whole side of the band increases, but not by a lot, and not enough to really knock much out.
Again,
right?
HDZero on the right, DJI on the left. Why does DJI 1 watt not look like it's gone up at all?
So it's not 1 watt yet. So he's powered.
Oh, okay. I see.
And now we're going to power on DJI.
Now we got DJI at 1 watt. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. But one of the interesting things you'll see here is that you see how there's kind of the edges above, right? So you see how above there's like an imprint of the DJI.
Yeah.
Like and right on the sides, there's an imprint of the DJI on the edges too, right? Where it's clearly gone up higher.
Yeah.
And then there's also a spike on the left.
So this red outline is the max line?
Yes, the red outline is the most that's seen, basically.
Gotcha.
In those spots. And so part of it is also he's got local Wi-Fi issues and stuff, but he does clear it from time to time. But one thing to notice is that consistently DJI powers up stronger power than you have it set, and also than that it's possible to power up at. So if you have DJI on 1200 milliwatt, it appears to power up much stronger than that.
Is that what this is over here?
Power. So this is another part of the DJI system. The other quirk of the DJI system that we've discovered here.
Oh, I see. Sorry, Blunty. Hold on, Blunty. Let me catch up. This little bump here is when it first powered up. It powered up at this excess power and then came down to 1 watt. That's what we're seeing here with this little bump here. Now we're moving on to this little bit, which is like this is on whatever channel it's on, but then this is all the way down on race 1. What the hell is this? Why is this here?
Race 5, actually. So it's 5805, and it's like this like spike that's right at 5805, and it's always there. No matter what channel you're on, even DJI 5, that spike lives at 5805, and it's a timing spike that the goggles seem to send periodically over the air. And no matter what, no matter how many DJI goggles you have up, etc., it seems like from testing, and Mads is going to keep testing this in more situations, it seems like no matter what's there, it's just going to slap that spot with that timing pulse over and over again.
How often does that happen?
Over and over again, constantly, like every millisecond.
Once a second? Oh, yeah. like all the time.
Like constantly, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
If you play it, you should be able to see those little spikes. While it's going on, but basically, oh
yeah. Yeah, interesting.
So it's just, so it's repeatedly spiking there. And so that might be another concern for people who are flying with DJI pilots. Typically we say, R6 is the one to stay off of because that's DJI 8. And that's what we're showing here with the power on. You get a very strong power on that channel. However, there's also a spike on R5 right in the center. And that might also be affecting people and having
Absolutely.
Some other things to take away from this are the power does change based on hacks. So we said it spikes over its given power. But if you actually change the goggles back down so that they don't have the 1200 milliwatt hack, it will power lower as max
interesting.
power. And if you have CE on, it will power even lower. Which is kind of fascinating. So they know that it powers up above, kind of slaps the air with that signal, and comes down, and it's some function of how it's designed.
Interesting.
The last quirk I want to bring up, there's one more thing that he did figure out.
Yeah.
Is that on channel 8 on DJI, so that 25 megabit, public channel we talk about a lot. It turns out that you can make that channel a fourth 50 megabit channel.
Channel 8?
If you wanted to. Yes.
Oh, and so, how do you do that?
And so there's a weird quirk. If you go into the goggle, if you set to channel 8, if you set to 50 megabit per second mode, and then you set any power that's not 1200 milliwatt, and then you reboot the goggle, it will boot that channel 8 in 50. Then you can go up to 1200 milliwatt, reboot as many times as you want, and it'll be a 50 megabit channel. Very weird.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So little quirks and stuff from the system. MadsTech has definitely been in here digging in and discovering, trying to see what bleed over happens and all that kind of stuff.
Brandon Bean says, so race 5 is also not good to use now, and race 6?
Yeah.
I mean, race 5, you're getting some interference. It's not as bad as... Oh, why is it worse?
Race 5 is always, where race 6 is only going to be on power up. So like if I'm running DJI goggles, race 6 is only slapped on power up, right? So they're going to hit that channel really hard because DJI jumps to public, and then it's going to hop to whatever channel it normally goes on. Unfortunately, with that hit on R5, it's just always there, no matter what channel you're on, no matter where you set. So even though it's not as big, I think it's just constantly there. And I think maybe that's kind of something to consider, is that even though it's like while you're flying, it's always going to be affecting a little bit versus that big slap while you're first turned on. The other thing I considered here, and I would like Mads to test this a little more, is I've seen weird stuff when you're flying with other people with timing. Like I've seen, issues where it seems like kind of one of the goggles is affecting the other goggle if we're all on 50 megabit, right? 3 of us are on 50 megabit.
I believe that.
So I wonder if that's because all the timing is on the same channel, right? Because all the timing is on R5.
I think that depends a lot on how close you are to each other. But I see what you're getting at. Even if you're on different channels, if everybody is deriving timing from race 5, from 5850 or whatever, then if everybody is cramming each other on 5850, then they're going to get in each other's way.
Yeah, 5805. Yeah, so it's just another theory to consider there. But I know Mads is going to try like slapping that spot with a bunch of RF and see if DJI will move it, or see if like multiple goggles negotiate out of it, stuff like that. So
neat.
We thank him for his work, and there's a lot of good information.
Absolutely, MadsTech, really, really incredibly knowledgeable and helpful guy. He posted this video. In a Facebook group, and I don't know, he must have posted something asking a question about the DJI batteries like 2 weeks ago. So MadsTech posts this video, do not update firmware. This is a previous video, not this one. And somebody commented and was like, listen, buddy, I just saw you post a question about your batteries. Now you've had the DJI FPV drone for 2 weeks. Maybe you ought to, get to know your drone a little better before you start telling us all what to do. And I was like, do you know who you're talking to? This guy, you should listen to this guy, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.